Look, I'm all for showing appreciation when the service deserves it, but tipping has been feeling less like a thank you and more like another charge. Every checkout screen wants a little extra now. I'm not automatically adding my money just because a button popped up. Sorry, but sometimes I'm choosing no tip. Check this out.
Never tip on a pickup order again after you hear this. Whenever you pick up your food, nobody brings it to you. Nobody refills your water. So that 18% that they're trying to charge you when you pick up your order, just get in the bag. That's not worth it.
Why are tips based on the cost of food and not actual service? For example, let's say I order a steak, I'm at a restaurant for like 15 minutes on my lunch break and I leave. Server is gonna get way more money sitting at a diner and all I have is coffee all day. They're serving me all day. Why are we paying a percentage of the cost of the food and not like the duration of the visit? Tips should be based on the service or the duration of the visit or whatever. Like, who came up with this?
The biggest lowlifes by far in this world are the people that refuse to tip waiters or waitresses. And I'm not going to sit here and act like as a little kid I was not this guy that went in and wouldn't tip people. But I've learned over the years that this is something that you do. They're making it like $4 an hour and they require on you to make a living, dude. And you're going to sit here and say, oh, it's not required. I'm not going to do it. What? You know what else wasn't required, bro? Was you going out to get food and having someone else cook and serve for you. How about you go home and make your own food, you fucking scumbag?
I never tip when I go out to eat. I don't tip at sit-down restaurants. I don't tip when it's to go. I don't tip when it's like eating at a buffet. All you're doing is bringing out my food. That's it. I'm probably asking here and there if I need a refill. Why should you get tipped for that? This tipping shit has got to stop. If anything, tip the chefs. They're the ones that are cooking the food for you. You're just bringing out a fucking plate. I don't have to tip you if I don't want to. Tipping is not a law. It's not mandatory. It's not required to eat at places.
I'm not gonna tip you just because you turned the iPad around and I pushed the button, bro. Like,
Yep.
The comment that I absolutely hate the most is like when people say, like, if you can't tip, don't go out. Like,
Right.
it's not. I'm not gonna give out free money, and what it's just companies trying to get away with not paying their employees what they
Yes.
deserve. And
They
they
give
have
them-
the assets to pay these people more, but they just don't want to.
Yep.
And they give you this option to tip, given this like social pressure to tip. And I agree with you. Like, if it's a server and they're coming multiple times and they're giving me good service, bro, I'm gonna
No
tip
doubt.
you. If you're a bad server, you don't get a tip, bro. Like, if
Yeah.
you're not working hard, if you come and like you give me water once and you don't come till I ask for the check, like I'm not gonna fucking tip you. Like, tips are earned, bro. Like, tips are earned, and companies should pay their people more so they don't have to fucking worry about tips.
I'm sorry, y'all don't have to agree with me. I never gave a fuck. I am not tipping you for some shit that is really not even tippable. That never fucking before the last 3 years, would anyone ever have thought about asking for a tip for. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Service providers are one thing. Okay, tattoo artists, cosmetologists, estheticians, hairdressers, makeup artists, whatever. That's one thing. Okay, servers, delivery drivers, even like sometimes if I'm ordering takeout or I'm picking up a to-go order, expos, because I've served, I've expoed, I've hosted. I get it, sure. Drive-through, no. Fuck no. I'm sorry. Ben and Jerry's just for a fucking scoop of ice cream, no. It's not happening.
This tipping culture has gotten seriously out of hand. I was trying to buy a product online and they asked me if I want to leave a tip. I abandoned that cart, I promise you that, because I haven't even tried the product. I don't have it. Like, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if I'll even receive it, if it's a knockoff or it's terrible quality. Why would I tip you? Putting it in a box and shipping it to me is your job. Like, you have already calculated the cost of doing business into the product and shipping costs. So why would I tip you? It is absolutely insane. If you ask me for a tip before I have received the product and tried the product, I'm not tipping you. If I order something for to go and I go in and you just put it in a bag and handed it to me, why am I going to tip you? Bill, you really need to get over yourselves. Your employers' poor wages are not my problem, and I don't care how you feel about it.
The tipping culture is completely off the rails now, huh? So COVID just made things like acceptable at establishments, and this is what we're going with. Coffee, $7 for a venti to hit you with the ass out, no look Palm Pilot iPad. You want a tip on top of the $7 coffee for what? And then they look at you if you don't tip. Really? Yeah, really. Go shit in your fucking hat. Stand on your head and spit wooden nickels, and then maybe I'll give you a fucking tip for the cup of coffee. Listen, I'm an over tipper when I go out. You provide me good service. Fuck, you provide me bad service while I'm out eating. I'm over tipping you by and far. We are the party you want to sit there. You're gonna get taken care of. But this thing where you turn around and grab a bag and then hand it to me in the time I could just make a small fart. Why would I tip you for that? What are we doing here? Everything is a tip. Like you go in, you get a sandwich, and they put it right there. Here you go. For what? I just drove here to pick it up. It's crazy. And now they're getting upset. They get upset now. Well, take a look. What's happening?
I have a hot take that I think majority of people will actually probably disagree with me. But it's that people in the service industry, specifically people who set their own prices, I don't think they should be tipped. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you why. Because you're setting your own prices for a service you are providing. Why do I need to pay you extra for a service that you're already charging me for? Like, I understand tipping a waitress because, they literally make $2 an hour. Hello? Like, I'm going to tip them for their good service. I'm coming to you. You are charging me your prices that you set and then expect me to tip you on top of it for a service that you're already charging me for. I don't understand it. And like, someone can, totally back them up in the comments because I want to see that perspective really bad.
Not gonna lie, bro, you can't convince me to tip a DoorDasher or Uber Eats driver. And I say this as someone who's like had friends who like do it and they're like, yeah, bro, you need the tips. And I'm like, I just can't do it. Because here's my thing, okay? It would be one thing if like the food or like, the groceries were just the food and groceries. But my problem is when you get the food and groceries, there's already all those extra fees. So I'm like, bro, if I'm already gonna pay these extra fees, why am I gonna give this dude like a little more change for me? Like, nah. It's like I genuinely feel bad about it, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, like they need to just start paying them more. I'm not gonna lie, because if they're gonna give me the option to not pay, I'm not gonna pay. Okay, now mind you, if I go into a restaurant, I'm gonna pay because of like just not gonna lie, sheer social pressure. I do not want to tip when I'm in a restaurant either, but I'm gonna do it just because I'm gonna do it. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't want people looking at me like, oh man, he stiffed the waiter, he stiffed the waitress. See, like that's another example where it's like I gotta watch my public perception. But like Uber Eats, DoorDash, bro, I'm editing the amount, going all the way to zeros. And I'm so sorry when I do it. But like at the same time, bro, like what are we gonna do?
Oh, don't patronize me about getting a real job when you can't even afford to tip. Oh, but this economy is so insane. Okay, you want me to get a real job and not be able to afford to tip? I can afford to tip my servers. Like, if you broke, just say it. All these people in the comments constantly yapping about how they don't need to tip. It's not, mandatory, blah, 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 blah. What happened to just human decency? What happened to just acknowledging someone working hard for you? What happened to just being, I don't know, a generous human being? I can't afford to be generous in this economy. Okay, then don't go out. Your employer should be paying you more. Okay, but they're not. Like, what do you want me to do about it? I signed up for this job because I make more money with the hourly that I set through my own hard work than a set rate could ever make me. Oh, well, I work in construction. Oh, well, I work in the health field. Thank you for your service to our community. Well, I don't get tipped. It's not a comparable field. You're getting adequately compensated for your work, and I'm glad that you are, because those jobs are significantly harder than mine. But don't sit here and compare my field to yours like you're gonna make a valid point with that.
This isn't a bit weird to you? I don't know what the fuck content you've seen online, but like, you don't tip your servers in real life because of what you've seen on the internet? It's just the idea of viewing an entire profession as a monolith. Not all servers are the same, and not all serving positions even are the same. You don't even have to tip me like a large amount at my job. I'm a barista, so I make drinks and food and bring it to you. You don't have to give me fucking $12. You don't even have to give me $5. Shit, you don't even have to give me $2. Like, all I said is it's humiliating having to like grovel for tips and then not get any. What? Like this is just kind of like concerningly you shouldn't have spite built up for someone you don't even know already based off of someone that you saw on the internet. That's that's really fucking crazy. That's weird, man. That's fucking weird.
I didn't think this needed to be said, but if you're ringing up my order at the fucking counter, you're not getting a tip from me. You're not getting a tip from me. Like, when the fuck did we make that a thing? The only time I'm going to tip, and I'm going to tip well, is if I dine in. If I go to Waffle House, Chili's, Cheesecake Factory. If I sit my fat ass down and you keep my fucking shit refilled and you take my orders and you give me good service, I'm going to take care of you. If you ring my shit up on a fucking iPad at a fucking kiosk, I'm not fucking tipping you. Who the fuck made that a thing? I'm at fucking Einstein Bagels this morning. I got me and my mom some shit. That shit came out to $30 for that little ass shit. And this bitch, like, they got an option to tip. It's like $1, $2, $3. You're not getting shit from me. The fuck is wrong with y'all? This economy is too fucked up. I feel offended when y'all do that shit now. Like, stop with that shit.
People who work at expensive restaurants, I actually have a question. So I went to an expensive steakhouse yesterday, right? And I'm walking to my car because I left something. And as I'm walking out, there's a couple leaving, and they get stopped by like a waitress or something. And at first, I'm like, I'm waiting for them to get out the doorway. Like, they're blocking the doorway. And I'm listening because I'm nosy. I'm listening, and the waiter says, "Is there a reason you didn't leave a tip?" And the dude, he looks at her, and he's like, "No." He was like, "Was the service bad, or like what was the reason you didn't leave a tip?" And he was like, "No, the service wasn't bad." And then she looked at him, and she was like, "So you just didn't leave a tip?" And he looked her dead in her soul. It was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Oh, okay." And then the couple walked off, right? And I'm walking to my car, and they're behind me. And they're like acting as if she like did something wrong. And it was like, why would she stop me at the door like that? It was like, why wouldn't she stop you at the door like that? Like, do people go to expensive restaurants and not leave a tip? Like, nothing? Zero zilch? Like, I need to know for my well-being.
Oh man, it's Tuesday at the end of the month. It's been so slow, man. I've logged on for DoorDash for 3 hours, got nothing. Then the first offer I got is 10 miles for $3 at Carl's Jr. Say what? Oh man, he's got the steak and egg loaded burrito. Oh shit, man. No, I'll be telling them, right? You want to tip tight? I'm gonna take a bite. And if you have a drink, no tip, I sip. Thank you, DoorDash non-tipper. Peace. Carl's Jr. got the best breakfast burrito, fam. Yummy, yummy. Mm. 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 No tip, I sip. Link in the channel description.
So we just got back from dinner, and we left a big fat zero on the tip line. And let me tell you why. First of all, we were seated, and nobody came to serve us waters or give us menus for 15 minutes. We had to flag someone down for service. Secondly, we asked for a Sprite for my son. Our drink showed up. His didn't. The appetizer got there. We still didn't have waters or my son's drink. And typically with an appetizer tray like nachos, you get little plates. We didn't get those. I asked for a second round of drinks just after the appetizer showed up. They showed up after our entrees were basically finished, after I asked 2 more times about those drinks. And then to top it all off, he gives us the receipt with no pen, so I sign a 0 tip with a crayon. Good night.
And ain't nobody finna tip no motherfucking mechanic. I'm gonna assume the tip is in the motherfucking price you just quoted me. The only time I tip is when a motherfucker give me free air in my tire and they charging. Let me get the money that I was supposed to give to the tire to you. But other than that, I ain't giving no motherfucking tip, dog. Y'all motherfuckers coming up with these prices from the top of the dome. So fuck do I look like giving you motherfuckers a tip for some shit that the tip probably already inserted giving you a tip, probably some extra shit. I'm giving you 2 tips at that motherfucking point. So what the fuck do I look like giving a motherfucker 2 tips when I know for a fact they getting more than enough for what type of labor they finna do on this motherfucking vehicle? So no, I will not be giving a motherfucker a tip for doing some shit that they already probably getting a tip out of. So yeah, you can eat all that shit up. Fuck that tip and fuck you too.
So wait a minute. You didn't check on my table. You didn't refill my water. You didn't refill my drinks. You didn't ask how we were doing. None of the above. None of the above. And I'm the bad guy for not tipping you. This whole tipping culture has to stop. Am I in the wrong for not tipping this person, this waiter that didn't check on my table once, just sat me down, took my order, and left? Because the last time I checked, a tip is worked for. It's not guaranteed. It doesn't say I need to tip you. And what people don't understand is they look at someone as myself saying, oh, well, if you can't afford to go out to eat, you shouldn't go out to eat. I can afford to go out to eat. I'm just not going to be tipping you if the service is not service. Like literally, you're not refilling my drinks. Why am I sitting here with a parched mouth and you think you're going to get a tip? Now, am I in the wrong for this? Let me know in the comment.
You don't need to be tipping servers, they make enough fucking money. One of the big things that gets quoted all the time is, oh, well, servers actually rely on tips. The minimum wage for serving is only like $2 to $3 an hour. Okay, do you know how much servers make in tips? I'm actually asking, because I'm a cook. I've been a cook in fine dining all the way to like sit down little diner joints. Like, I know what servers make, and it's insane. When I used to work at a bar, one of the servers actually made so much money that when she went and claimed all her taxes like an idiot, she owed so much of it to the IRS. And she wasn't even good at her job. She was horrible. But you know what she was? Pretty, young, personable. Honestly, if you're pretty young and personable, go become a server. You'll get a new car at the end of the year. And don't get me wrong, there is variations to this. Obviously, if you live in a smaller town, there probably is a little bit difference in tips. And honestly, if you're not that good looking, you're probably not going to make that many tips. But I can tell you firsthand that I've seen people who were ugly, bad at their job, and honestly unsociable, and they still made great tips. And that is why I don't fucking tip.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one. When it's okay not to tip. Yes, I post so much about how you're always supposed to tip, and that means that no matter your financial situation or who you are or what type of service you receive, you're expected to tip. No! Number one, and the most obvious one, is that if you don't get good service, you don't have to tip your server. I mean, my God, do I have to hold y'all's hand through this? If your server is rude or forgets to ring in your food for a freaking hour, yeah, don't tip them. We're employed to make sure that your experience goes smoothly. If we're not doing that job, then no, we should not be compensated for that. If you're a family that has low income, which I'm not judging, but like if you're going out to eat to celebrate a special event and you genuinely can't afford to tip, I understand. People are out here acting like we don't know how to profile the tables. We know what's going on. All the people that I'm complaining about or calling cheap in other videos are the people that can afford to tip but choose not to out of their own convenience. If your server was rude to you, don't pay them. If your server rushed you, I'm not saying that if they were like nice and obviously rushing you, like don't tip them 20% or don't tip them at all. But I'm saying like you don't have to fully tip the 20% if you felt like you were being rushed, even if they were being polite. I don't tip if I am not sitting. I don't tip at Starbucks. I worked at Starbucks for 2.5 years. I've never tipped at a Starbucks. You tip at the nail salon, but you don't tip at fast food. And yes, I have not tipped nail artists who do a terrible job and who are rude to me. I'm about to make so many people mad with this one. I have stiffed hairstylists before. I'll probably go into the story time for that one anyway, but it was a justified reason.
Tipping culture has gotten way too out of hand. Like, we actually lost the plot because now everyone believes that they should be tipped regardless of what they're doing, even if they're providing bare minimum service. And growing up, I was told that you tip people when they go above and beyond, when they make your experience feel better than what you normally would have. So why do you feel as if 20% is required at every single meal? I feel like, I don't know, if you're not making me feel special, I don't have to do as much as I should. I can give you a bare minimum tip because you did a bare minimum job. You did what you had to do. But in my head, I think the real issue is, why are we getting upset at consumers for not going above and beyond with their money to spend, and not at the employers who I genuinely believe can afford to raise their employees' rates? I feel like if you're working at a high-end steakhouse, there's no way that your job can't afford to pay you bare minimum, like minimum wage. So I think the real issue is, instead of us all being mad at regular age people not wanting to spend their money, especially when the service is subpar, at least I wouldn't either. Like, I don't know. I didn't go out to eat to not be talked to for 30 minutes and then y'all added a $20% gratuity just cause. I'm lost. Why am I paying for bare minimum service, honestly? And before y'all come and jump me, I don't mind tipping. I just have an issue with it when the waiter hasn't checked up on me for 30 minutes. They're barely giving me any type of attention. And then I'm supposed to hit them with 20% at the end of the day because they did their job. Okay. I be doing my job. I don't get tips. So, yeah.
Okay, really hot take, but if you are a non-tipper, you should be very pro tipping culture. Like, as it stands now, you get all the benefits of tipping culture. Cheap food, because the menu prices aren't raised to accommodate high wages. Good service from experienced servers who are incentivized because they make $40 a fucking hour. And you have the choice as to whether or not you want to tip. You have a choice right now as to whether or not you subsidize my wage. If you try to cancel tipping culture, if you get rid of tipping culture, if nobody tips, all the experienced servers are going to quit. Like, there's no fucking way I'll go work at a restaurant that's still mandating autograt. No fucking way I'm going to go for $15, $20 an hour. And I'm not spoiled. I worked at Chick-fil-A for $11 an hour like a year and a half ago. But I could make more money elsewhere doing something else, so I just changed jobs. All the experienced servers would quit, okay? Service quality, downhill. At the same time, because they just raised our wage from minimum wage to $15 to $20 an hour, now they're having to make the menu prices higher to accommodate our wages, which means you now don't have a choice as to whether or not you subsidize my wage, because now it's built into the fucking menu. Right now, you can choose to not tip. You can't choose to, like, only pay for half a steak, you know? So it's just funny because, like, you would benefit more if you could just suck it up and be, like, okay with the fact that some people are gonna think you're kind of a dickhead. Like, I'm gonna think you're kind of a douchebag. And that's fine. Like, just own it, because you'll benefit a lot more. And it's really funny to try to, like, shoot yourself in the foot just because you don't like the fact that people think you're rude. Like, just don't tip. You have the choice to not tip. It's the best solution. Because here's the thing. If you don't tip me, I'm still going to make like 40 an hour. Maybe on a bad night, 35. It doesn't fucking matter. But, like, if everybody stops tipping, you kind of just force yourself into tipping, like, indirectly. So I don't know. It's like, right now you don't have to subsidize my wage. It's not your job. You don't have to. But by trying to get rid of it and, like, spread the word, like, this is more so like something you should maybe, like, keep to yourself as like a little life hack and not tell everyone, because if you do, we're just gonna end up in a situation where you pay my wages through high menu prices or someone else's, because I'm not working for 15 an hour. But yeah, no. I just think it's funny. It's like the most illogical shit ever, and they don't even realize it.
Was there anything else I can help you with?
I can't afford the tip. I feel very upset.
No, it's okay. Oh,
Are you sure?
yeah. No, it's fine. Look, thank you very much.
No. Daniel, right?
Yeah.
Daniel, take a seat, man.
What's going on?
Daniel, I feel terrible on my part because you've done such a good job.
You don't have to feel terrible, okay? So many people, just dine and dash these days because everything's expensive. I know we raised the prices.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's your son's birthday today?
Yeah.
Yeah, look. Go celebrate with your son. The last thing that I want to do is...
It's just,
stop that from happening.
It's my son's 7th birthday party, and the funds is just so... But my wife insisted that we'd be able to celebrate. And, he's been bullied a lot, and
But
I just have...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be crying like this.
No, it's okay, Danny. Look.
No.
Tell me what's up, man.
Look. I've been at this job for like 4 months now, and I keep getting stiff. And it's not you. I don't think you're stiffing me because you paid for your food, and I know you apologize, man. It's your son's birthday.
Yeah.
It's just... I keep getting stiffed, and then I have to pay for it. And I have a son on the way. I'm like stressed out. I don't know if I can do this anymore, man. So many people don't tip. So many people don't even pay for their bill. It's like,
I left you a little something in there. I know it's not a lot, but
what do you mean? I can't. Are you?
Okay, so just so we're all on the same page, I will no longer be tipping my braiders the second I am about to leave the shop. I will tell them that they will get a tip via whichever way that they accepted a deposit, because I keep tipping people after I get my hair done. I always at least tip $20 and up. I'm not going to do that anymore because it's literally getting out of hand. I noticed a girl yesterday who did my hair. She pulled out a flat iron to do my edges, and she asked if I wanted edges left out. And every single time I get edges left out, it's always just a little bit of hair. Like, it's never anything too crazy. But I have all this hair on the side of my head. I was trying to use mousse today to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm honestly, I'm sick of it. Like, my sister was like, "So you pay for stitch braids and not all of your braids are stitched," which is true, which I didn't notice until she said. And the hairstyle looks cute, don't get me wrong, but now I have to figure out, which I did these beads myself, but now I have to figure out how to do my edges because there's just so much hair unnecessarily. I'm very irritated by this. If I were to show y'all a photo of the last braids I got done after 2 days, none of my hair was like in the braid. It was just an afro in the back of my head. Like, I'm at this point, I'm no longer tipping as I'm leaving after getting my hair done. You will receive a tip if my hair holds up a few hours after I left, because the pressure of like feeling like you have to tip someone for subpar work is just absolutely insane. Like, what the freak? Obviously, I need to learn how to do my edges, so we'll just excuse that. But like, there's nothing for me to push the hair into because this side looks cute.
Listen. So there's a video on here, okay? And the manager, hi Tor, the manager says, "Hey, you're no longer allowed in this restaurant because you don't tip." And some people, a lot of people, too many people are like, "Oh my God, that's so wrong. Tipping is optional. It's not mandatory." Listen, if you don't want to tip for service that is absolutely abysmal, that's a good adjective, then I get it. However, if you are going to go to a restaurant and everything is wonderful, right? The service is great, everything's good, and you're just not going to tip and you're going to do that all the time, that is just simply bullshit. I'm sick of hearing that, it's optional to tip. It's not mandatory. It's not a requirement. You're so fucking right. But to my knowledge, please correct me if I'm wrong. Only things that are required in this life of ours is like oxygen, water, and death. Am I wrong? I don't get it. Like, we all have free will, right? And that free will is based in our morals and our values. And if your values and morals do not align with ours here at this restaurant, then please see the front door, but don't you ever use it again. Like, why do we act like the server is the crazy one for wanting to be compensated for the service they just gave? I do not understand firing an employee because they asked a patron professionally why no gratuity was left. I don't get it. This is what we do here. We are in the US of A. We tip our full service restaurant servers. It ain't nothing new. It's what it is. People that don't tip are just assholes and cheap. That's it. And don't tell me some people don't have it and they should go out and treat themselves. No. No. I would love to put a back fucking patio. Okay? I just would really love that for myself, to treat myself. I just don't have the money. But you know what? The fucking company that did my neighbors, just do it for me because I deserve it. That's the same thing. I don't get it. I don't understand supporting and protecting the employee who is harming your staff. Your staff, that is the reason you are able to operate your business. In the video, the lady was like, "It's not my fault you took a job for $2.13 an hour, bitch. It's nobody's. We're here. It is what it is. Be a good person. Literally just being a good person. Because what do you mean you were sitting at a restaurant in the United States of America and having a server serve you, run around, do everything that you want and need, and then you're going to, without saying a word, you're going to let them either open that book or close that computer screen and then find out that they did all of that work for nothing, that they actually now have to pay to have done that for you. In what world is that okay? Am I fucking losing my mind?
I completely understand not signing on to tipping culture in non-restaurant settings and thinking that that's gotten out of hand. But recently, in recent years, it feels like there is like a specific set of people who are also against tipping an adequate amount of money in restaurants. And instead of just saying outright, like, I don't want to tip, they try to make their take seem like the woke take, the moral take. And we see this with like so many different things where, you know, people just have opinions on things, but because they are scared that they will be criticized for that opinion or they don't think it's an acceptable opinion to have, they will try to moralize it and make it seem like it is the woker of the takes. So back to tipping. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but like when I see the discourse going on about it on TikTok or on Twitter or whatever, people who are against tipping 20%. I think 20% is the amount to tip. Some people are like 15 to 20%. Let's just say people who are against even tipping 15 to 20% will say, why should I be paying the servers? Like the restaurant should be paying them. They should be getting paid a living wage. You're right. Okay. But you are choosing to go to a restaurant knowing that it's not the case that that restaurant is paying them a living wage. You are choosing to go to a restaurant in America where you know that tipping is part of the culture. That's just what we do. And you're also not at City Hall or the state capitol asking for legislation to change this. So, really, you're just talking and trying to make it seem like you care for these people who you are not tipping. You want them to get a living wage. But you're not actually doing anything to help them. You're still going and taking advantage of their services without compensating them. You know they're not getting compensated and you choose not to compensate them, but you still partake in it anyways. And by the way, the money that you're paying that's on your bill before tipping, that money is for the food. The tip is for the service. That you know that person who like took your order and came back and checked on you, made sure you got refills, whatever. That's what you're tipping for. Sure, it'd be great if service was paid for by their wages or it was included in the food prices, which then you'd also complain about because it'd be even more expensive. So all this to say, if you don't want to tip 15 to 20% in America, knowing that that is the culture, then just don't go out to eat. Why do you want a service that you're not willing to pay for? You don't have to go to a restaurant.
Excuse me, hello. So somebody tell me if I'm tripping. I feel like tip culture is getting like way out of control. I actually work in the service industry, have always worked in the service industry. Why am I giving you a tip and I'm at Subway, Jersey Mike's, or like a place where I can't sit down and dine in and receive a full on service? Like, I feel like everywhere I go now, they're asking, requiring, or like aggressively suggesting that I tip them. For what? Tip you for what? And I'm in a curry out. Tip you for what? Even me being a stylist, I do not look for a tip at all from my client. If you give me anything outside of what is owed for that service, I'm beyond grateful. Like, y'all getting out of control. It is not my responsibility as a consumer to make up your paycheck. It is my responsibility as a consumer, and speaking from a consumers point, it is my responsibility to come and pay for my services rendered, or either pay for the item that I'm trying to purchase. It's not my job to supply your lifestyle or give you a check that your boss don't want to give you, the company that you signed up to work for don't want to give you. You need to go get another job. Even me as a service provider, I have other streams of income. Stop looking for people to tip you. Stop getting upset when people don't tip you. It's not nobody's responsibility to tip you. Nobody has to tip you. A tip is a gift. It's an extra thank you. Nobody's obligated to tip you. Because I'm definitely starting to get turned off by people that like do delivery services or just the tip is an extra on their paycheck. It's nobody's responsibility to tip you. Nobody has to tip you. Once they pay for their stuff, pay for their service, that extra little money that they give you, that's a reward. No, that's not obligated to you. You can't force somebody's money out of their pocket. Who are you? Go get another job. Go get another job. Do the job that you signed up for and do it well, and the tips that you deserve will come to you with no problem. It is very rare that I have a client not tip me, and then when I get that client that don't tip, okay, they just didn't tip. It is what it is. But y'all really have a problem. I'm about to stop.
For those who don't believe in tipping, this is for you. I am also a strong believer in if I'm not sitting, I'm not tipping, but this is for the restaurant industry specifically. You walk in, you see a hostess, you say, "Hi, table for two." That hostess is making $12 an hour to go lead you to your table. They are in charge of keeping the restaurant in order from the top. A lot of those hostesses are also tipped out, but not all of them. You go and you sit and you take a look at your table. 2 rolls of silverware. Every single piece of silverware in this restaurant has been polished and rolled by a server. Let's say a water jug is put on your table. Every single water jug has been filled by a server as a side work. The salt and pepper on your table, filled by a server. The ketchup or any condiments on your table, replaced constantly by your server. The clean floor your feet are on, swept by a server. So your server comes over. They're being very accommodating, very kind to you. Good, that's what they're paid to do. They ask for your drink order. You order alcohol. Now they go and they ring in that order to the bar. The bar that makes tips off the people sitting at their bar and off the servers, because the drinks that they are making, they are still getting paid to do, but directly by the server. I think their hourly is the same as servers. It's like $2. Your drinks hit the table in 3 minutes or less. That is standard for most restaurants. That means people are constantly rushing around trying to make sure that there's not a hitch in your service. You put in your appetizer order. There is a whole restaurant in the back that is making sure that comes out as perfect as it should be. People are wiping your plates. People are running food that might not be your server. You put in your entree order. That server has to go remember every single modification that you put in, type it into a very complex system. Some of them are not as complex, but a lot of them I've discovered are pretty detailed. They put in every single modification, every single allergy, and here's the big kicker. You need to stay where you're seated. There's a reason for this. On most POS systems, there is a 1 through X amount of numbers order that things are put in. When you change seats, if the server themselves are not running that order and do not remember your face, then they have to go auction off your food and you have to be listening. Because when you change seats, it now becomes your responsibility to claim your food with all of your modifications. Food hits the table, the food is great. Your server comes and checks on you, gets anything else you might need. Let's not forget that this server has a minimum of 3 other tables, all with modifications or allergies. Maybe treating them great, maybe treating them terribly. They have refills that they need to take for other tables, for your table. It is all important to them. You are not any less important than the other tables. Check comes out, you're ready to pay. There's a tip section. A lot of receipts are now including what tip percentages are. The standard is 20%. So that 20%, this is what happens once you pay it or you don't. If you do, they end up pocketing most of that. If you pay in cash, they pocket all of that. But what happens is all of those funds that they have accumulated from tips are put into another percentage system. A certain percentage goes to the bar that made your drinks. A certain percentage goes to back of house, hostesses, to goes, whatever their restaurant is functioning off of. So usually they don't walk away with every single dollar that they make that night if you don't tip the full 20%. The server has to take the money from other tables to make up for the difference. So if 3 tables tip 20% and one of them stiffs, the other 3 tables tips are going to be making up for the difference that you left, which means they're losing more money. That means all the running around, all the side work that they're keeping up with, making sure that your food hits the table while it's still hot, while also taking care of other servers' tables while they're tangled up taking care of other people's tables, is just more work that they're having to pay for through someone else's pocket. And a lot of people are arguing that restaurants should be paying their servers a livable wage. We all agree with you, don't get me wrong. Every single person who works at a restaurant wants to get paid a livable wage. But if they were getting paid a livable wage, then your food would be ridiculously expensive and you wouldn't want to go there anymore or to restaurants anymore, which means that industry basically becomes useless. That means the great dining experiences, the birthday parties, the whatever celebrations you're wanting to hold at a restaurant will cease to exist.
Tell me if I'm the asshole, because me and my friends just went to Applebee's like on Monday and I didn't tip. And that's new for me, okay? Because I believe in tipping. I mean, not that I believe in tipping, but like, you know, while tipping's in place and while they're being stupid and paying people like $2 an hour, I'll tip because that's bullshit, okay? But I didn't tip on principle and I need to know if this is valid. I'm sorry if this is hectic. I have refilmed this a couple times because I just keep remembering other details. I'm like, that's an important detail. I should say that. But let me get like the main ones, okay? So there's three people that are going to the dinner. It's me, my friend Marilyn, who I absolutely adore, and then my roommate Dom, who's basically my brother at this point, and he's stupid and I hate him. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we were going to Applebee's. It was after we were swimming, and we get there like 8:20, and again, it's not that busy, okay? And I can say that because I was a server, but it's literally I saw 2 servers on deck, and they had a food runner, by the way. And it was like I think we got there and we were like either the 5th or 6th table there, and then over the course of our hour there, only 2 more tables showed up. It was not that fucking busy.
Hi, I'm Dom, the stupid roommate. And I just want to preface that, like, yeah, there was like 5 or 6 tables in the restaurant, literally all in one section. Like, the main section was closed, the back section of the bar, no one was sitting at the bar. It was literally just this one little side section of the restaurant that was 5 or 6 tables.
So we were waiting like 10-ish, 15-ish minutes for someone to come and take our order. And again, I was a server. I get it, babe. Like, honestly, I was pretty chill for most of this dinner. But so eventually this waitress came and took our order. And okay, she wasn't writing anything down. Okay. And if you can do that as a server, kudos to you. I couldn't do that as a server. And neither could she. Because one, later in the story, she really couldn't do it. But literally Dom ordered and Marilyn ordered, and they got like alcoholic drinks and then their appetizers, because that's what we're doing. We're getting drinks and appetizers because it's fun, okay? Everyone should do that once in their lifetime, 10 out of 10 experience. Except for this one. And then I just got a Dr. Pepper and like my own appetizer. And after I was done ordering, she goes, okay, can y'all repeat that all back to me? And then we had to order our order again, which really, honestly, and I knew it in my core. I was like, this is just foreshadowing. And it was, and I was correct. Also, Applebee's employees, y'all need to let me know if it's like a policy for y'all that you can't write stuff down anymore, because that is a dumb policy and I will be complaining to people way above y'all, because I don't want to blame this waitress, because there was another waiter on staff and I didn't see him writing anything down either. So if this is a policy, let me know, because I will go complain to someone in corporate. Okay, I'll take this to corporate. Because let's be all fucking honest here. No one is going to Applebee's for like really fancy service where my waiters don't write anything down to be impressive. Okay, it's Applebee's. Get a grip. We're there for cheap drinks and cheap appetizers. Okay, Applebee's. So our waitress went to go put in our order, and then the other like waiter on staff like saw our table was like completely empty. And we had been there for a minute, and he was like, "Oh my god, like, is anyone coming to help you?" And we are like, "Yeah, someone did. Like, she just took her order." And he went and grabbed his silverware, and he was like, "Okay, I'll go get you that Dr. Pepper you ordered." And then our waitress was right there with it. So again, I'm not pressed, honestly, and I honestly love that the people, like the 2 servers, were helping each other out. 10 out of 10. Love to see that happen. So eventually, our waitress brings Dom and Marilyn's drinks, and like Marilyn's was fine,
but Dom ordered a sangria that was supposed to have barefoot wine and Smirnoff, and he was brought a bucket. And again, she just took off after she dropped off the drink, so we didn't even really get a chance to tell her, oh, hey, his drink was wrong, because he took one sip and was like, this is not what I should have ordered. And then Marilyn's like, yeah, it's not what you fucking ordered, dude, because it's not a sangria. It's literally that $10 bucket, which is $5 more than the sangria you ordered, and it's also made with like Captain Jack rum, like. Yeah, and we can taste what rum tastes like, and that's important because she comes back and then she goes, oh, like, how's everything tasting? Like, how are the drinks? And Dom's like, hey, like, I think this is the wrong drink. And then she goes, oh, no. Like, I saw him make the sangria. I think he just poured it into the wrong container. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. The bartender messed up. No, he didn't. This tastes like rum. And so then Dom was just like, oh, well, that's like, honestly, it's fine. I just want to make sure I'm not getting charged like the $10, like when I ordered a $5 drink. And then she was like, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can handle that. I'll make sure. And like, if I already couldn't like see right through her freaking lie, like me turning my head a little bit, I could see through it then because I saw her panicking at the little control panel for waiters. Like to where she even brought in like the other waiter on clock to like help her figure it out. Like, cause she freaking messed up, dude. I wonder if she would have wrote it down. Maybe that would have helped. So our food eventually came out and it was wrong. Lo and behold, I wonder if it was because she didn't write anything down. But it was like 10 buffalo wings, and then she forgot the garlic parmesan wings. And then she also brought on like a basket of fries, which no one ordered. Oh, by the way, excuse my lighting, but I'm just remembering the reason I'm specifying that she came out with 10 buffalo wings is because when we were ordering, she was saying, because I just wanted 20 of the 50-cent wings in buffalo. And then she goes, oh, I'm sorry, but we have to do them in orders of 5, which makes sense. So I was like, okay, everyone just order your own flavors. So I ordered 5 buffalo, and Marilyn ordered 5 honey barbecue, and Dom ordered 5 garlic parmesan. Just for clarification. That's why I was like, there came out 10 buffalo wings. And I'm trying to remember if like she even brought out the food or if it was like the food runner and like then she came back later to ask, and that might have been what it is, because then we told her like, hey, like I ordered garlic parmesan wings, and then my friend Marilyn also took that time to like order a burger and fries because she wanted to bring something home to her fiance. And yeah, she was like, okay, I'll go put that in right now, and it should be out soon. And now this part of the story is the really funny part because it's so random. So it was the table sitting directly across from us. But there was this the host came out, and she was like asking, like she was going down the line, asking people like, hey, like, is this your license plate? And it was the table sitting across from us, and she was like, the blue car out there, yeah, that's mine. And then she was like, okay, can you like come back out of your spot because we're parked really close, and like I'm scared to back out because I don't want to hit your car. And like they were on a date, like it was a girl and a guy, like they're clearly on the date, and like the dude looked visibly annoyed. And so the girl was like, yeah, I'll go move it right now. And she got up and went to go move it. And I wanted that boyfriend to know that he was totally valid for having that fucking annoyed face. Because I looked at that blue car. There was no reason. They were not that closely parked. That woman could have easily backed out of that spot. There was no reason to do this. So I was like, the blue car right there? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, that's insane. No, that's insane. Y'all are not that closely parked. And like, bless her heart, dude, like 3 tables were watching, like all the tables around us were just watching these 2 cars back up, and like this lady like back up with the blue car, she literally didn't even back all the way out of the spot. She like pulled a couple feet out, and then literally the white car just backed out and went. And I'm like, what the fuck was the point of that? And then eventually like the girl comes back in and sits down, and I look at her, I'm like, that was ridiculous. And she was like, thank you, because we were not that close, and like she easily could have backed out of that spot, and like I don't get it. And I'm like, no, you were valid. I want you to know that was insane.
And just to clarify on the backing up of the cars, they were parked. Oh, wait. They were parked like this.
Okay.
Sorry, over.
No, I like it. I think we keep it.
They were parked next to each other like this, and this was the hostess's car, and this is the girl's car at the table next to us. And I thought she was trying to back out like this, and like, oh no, I don't want to hit your car like this, so can you move real quick? She backed out like this and then went this way. So like, there's no need for that. There was no need.
Fucking need. I forgot to mention that when she came back and like we told her about the wings and Marilyn ordered her burger, she also took my Dr. Pepper in order to get me a refill. And it became an ongoing gag at our table that I was never going to get another Dr. Pepper. Because I ate my whole order without a drink because it took like over 20 minutes for her to get me a Dr. Pepper, which I don't know why. I don't know why it would ever take that long. So like 20, 30-ish minutes have gone by. We have completed our meal. Okay, I never got my Dr. Pepper. And finally our waitress comes back and goes, "Oh, how is everything?" And then Marilyn goes, "Okay, well, I still wanted to order my burger and fries, like if with no onions, if that's coming out." And then I was like, "And I just want to go ahead and cancel those garlic Parmesan wings. We don't need them." And she was like, "Yeah, okay. And then I can get you that Dr. Pepper." I'm like, "Oh, cool, thank you." And then she also, I don't remember when this was. I think it was had to have been this. I think it was this time because it was so late in our dinner that I'm like, how are we gonna get through this drink? Because she brought Dom the sangria he ordered. And like she was just like, "Oh, like I forgot what fucking lie she made up or whatever." Um but she said something about the drink and like, "Oh, like here's this one, like the bartender messed me up and like didn't give me this one when I put it in, whatever." And it was so clearly it was a totally different drink because it tasted like wine and Smirnoff and not rum. Um but he also told us that like, "Oh, like I don't know what's up with the back of kitchen with those wings, but yeah, I'll just go ahead and cancel them." Girl, like let's be real, you never put them in. Okay? You also didn't put in that burger because it would have been out by now. Oh, and the whole time, like Marilyn's trying to convince me, like, "Oh, like the basket of fries like come with the wings or like whatever." I'm like, "No, they don't, Marilyn. I know they don't." And they were on the check. It was $2.99 for the fries that no one ordered. And yeah, and then she gave us the check with my Dr. Pepper, and then she also still didn't have the freaking burger on the check. And then like a couple minutes later, she comes out with a new check that had the burger on it. And so we are all in agreement at the table. I'm just like, "Girl, when this burger comes out, I'm putting cash on the table. Y'all are gonna cash at me or whatever, and then we're gone. Like I need to get out of here." This also should not have taken an hour for what we did. Like it was just horrible. It was so bad, dude. And maybe I'm an asshole for not tipping. Okay, whatever. But Jesus Christ, dude, I did not want to tip her. On principle, I did not want to tip her.